Right, my lovelies, as you may well know, I have purchased a mid-range fuel tank for the Dynaco Series 1, and this is going to be in that scooter, willing or not, kicking and screaming, by the time this video is finished. Now, the only one that they had at SIP, I bought this from SIP Scooter Shop. It came quite timely, thank you very much. The only one that they had was the one without paint. So that means that I have to paint this thing as well. Now they come all sealed up in this disgusting oil. And they also came with straps, which is good. But this is, yeah. It's really slimy at the moment. So what I'm going to have to do is, apart from try and get it out of the wrapping, this, incidentally, is the type that has... Let me just take that out. Ugh. This, incidentally, is the type that has a cutout on both sides. Reason why I went for that is, I mean, you lose a little bit of capacity. That is true. This... what am I saying? I'm completely out of it today. Yeah, so the reason why I went for the two cutouts is because if I change the configuration on the Series 1 there, it won't really matter. I won't have to mess around trying to fit one of these bar stewards again. Now, I want to show you a couple of things, but first I'm just going to have to do it, just make it nice and clean. To get rid of this preserving oil, they call it, it's really like a horrible grease. I use a little bit of brake cleaner, acetone, or something like that, some sort of spirits. Just not this type of spirits. Let me get that cleaned up. So that is the tank. Quite clean, not brilliantly clean, quite clean. Now, there's several different methods that these Asian tanks are made by. I've seen ones that have got this lip and it's sort of bent over and then they spot weld it. This one in particular, I've actually never seen that before. Can you see that? Maybe or maybe not, I'm not sure. But this looks to have been two halves and they have... it actually looks quite nice. TIG welded it round this edge here. The biggest problem with fitting a 3/4 tank or mid-range tank is the fact that this edge here, if that sticks out too far, you're gonna have problems trying to get this in the space on your lambretta between your toolbox, and that's the reason why we fit mid-range tanks, so they can keep your toolbox and the frame itself. So the ones that have been peened over and spot welded, I've seen quite a few people, they actually like to trim down this edge, but this edge here on this particular one isn't really that bad, although it's going to give me some problems. I know they're really hard to fit sometimes. And if you are planning on fitting one of these on a brand new painted scooter, good luck. I've done it a couple of times. What you do need there is lots of patience, put lots of tape on it or give it to an adult. And I do know in the UK, a lot of dealers won't fit these because it's so time consuming. So this is something you're going to have to do yourself. But I think it's worth it in the long run because I am very dependent on my toolbox. I put all my spares and everything there, and they stay in the scooter all year round. I'm on going rallies or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I've got the same spares in there. So this particular tank, as I said, comes from SIP, and this holds apparently 10 litres. I know that might be right. It might actually be a little bit more. I think we're just being a bit pessimistic there, because the one that I've got in my Series 2, I have ridden that completely dry, gone in the petrol station. I actually filled just under 11 litres on that, and that's the same type as this. So the first thing you have to do with these is, it doesn't matter if it's painted, it doesn't matter if it's stainless steel, it doesn't matter if it's a UK made one, it doesn't matter. You really have to flush the tank out, because under manufacturing process, like here they've welded it, pressed the steel and stuff, there's going to be swarf, dust, dirt, grime, oil, whatever it is, it's going to be in the tank there. So what I'm actually going to do with this one is take it out into my garden. It's raining outside, unfortunately, right now, so I can't film this. But I simply take my garden hose and fill up the tank, slush it about a bit, empty it a couple of times, and just keep going on the process until I'm happy with what's actually coming out of the tank. So I'll do that, and then we'll get cracking with painting. So I have washed through my tank pretty aggressively, sloshed it around quite a few times, filled it up to the brim. Yep, done that, back and forth. And when I get my trusty light out, which is this one, these are really handy, the Moto Nostra lights. This has actually different functions so that it can shoot from the end there. And I can actually poke it down and have a look in the tank, see what it looks like. And it was still full of grease. So I ended up getting out the old Ferry liquid and giving it a proper brush out with that. And then to dry it, I just stuck an old t-shirt down the hole, dried it as good as I could. Threw out some compressed air in there, and then in the end I heated it up with my heat gun, and the water was evaporated. Now it looks nice and shiny. You can eat your dinner in there. So what I need to do now is mask it. I like to use the blue one because this one doesn't, the blue M3 Scotch masking tape, because this one is easy to take off, basically. So I'm going to mask over this edge where your the fuel what's it, and it's not going to sit there because there's still a bit of grease on this thing, even though it's been washed, rinsed, brake cleaner. But I'm going to do something else once I've got this on there. So then block it up like that. Put another one over the top just to make sure. I don't want paint inside the tank. Really, not ideal. And because this is sort of a rat bike look, I don't need to be that particular about how I do this. Right, this is the way that I paint, not tanks in particular, but I normally paint exhaust like this. I use a big box so that it protects the stuff around it, the environment around it, for too much dust. And to give this thing a good, it's some sort of primer, etch primer. Rust protection grade. And because I can't hang this up like I'd normally do, I'm just going to give it 2 shots. Like, the paint doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to paint this side, and because it's spray can paint, it dries quite quick after a couple of hours. And then I can turn it over, and I'll give a shot on that side, and then we should be ready to give it a... Oh. You would have thought I was used to this, wouldn't you? Right, so before I start painting, I've used this before, I like to turn the can upside down and just get rid of the... You can see it's like slightly blocked. Come on. It's not having any of it. There you go. You could wait until you got a proper stream. Right, that's good. Right, and then I just shoot it with a bit of primer. Just make sure I cover the whole tank so that the paint will sit a little bit better. And I try to go diagonally and horizontally. Obviously, I don't want any runs. And if you're smarter than me, you'll use a mask, because now I can already feel the effects of this. I'm joking. Right, so that's that side of the tank. It looks like I've got quite good coverage on that, actually, which is not bad, considering the amount of whiskey consumption I've had this evening. And now I will turn it over and shoot the other side. Obviously, this would have been a lot easier if I could be bothered to hang it up, but I don't want to take out all this crap out of my garage. And yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just being lazy. Right, so that's the tank primered, and now it's time to key it. What I use is M3 scratch pad, and just give it a gentle rub. Something like that, and that'll do it. Just be really careful when you're matting down parts that you don't rub too hard on the high or low spots, so that you end up with bare paint again. Right, I've started shooting this with 2K white paint, but before I did that, and after I keyed it, I washed it again with silicone remover. Right. That is the tank painted. It actually looks all right. It's not too bad. It's got some imperfections here in the cutouts here. So if you're going to do a proper nice shiny paint job, you're going to have to do a lot of primer. And as you can see, it's already dirty. The reason why it's dirty is the first thing you need to do is fit your fuel tap. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to attack this. I've done these differently almost every time. What I was thinking of doing was maybe, like in this Series 2 frame, I could take out the rubbers and try and squeeze them back in underneath the tank once the tank is in place. But I think first off, I'm going to see if I can get this this puppy in with the rubbers in. Now, the big problem with these is, yeah, well, as you can see, that's great, Rob. That's great. You can hear lots of scraping going on. So this is why you need need lots of tape on here if you're going to fit it. It's not going in, is it? It won't even go past there. Oh, come on, man. I've already scratched the top of the tank. Oh, goodness. I'm not sure how much wiggle room that's going to give me. Hopefully, I can fit the rubbers in again. I'll try without the rubbers this time. Normally, the hard bit... Okay, that's... what's it catching on? It's actually catching on the frame. Normally the hard bit is... it's really, really tight against there, and really, really tight against the back of my frame here. The problem is, you have to angle it in. Otherwise, you're not going to get the filler cap. Oh my goodness. Shit, that's well and truly wedged, that is. I'm going to get this puppy in. Crap a duck. Oh. Shit, that's just not going in. Oh my God. Oh, this has been a nightmare. Right, well, okay, after a lot of messing around here, what I found out is the tank is sitting too far forward, and I couldn't get it in because, let me just sort of line it up there, because this back edge here was slightly too tall. So it's not this edge or the flange around the joint that's making it tight. It's actually the height of the tank. So what I've decided to do is, if I'm going to have any chance of getting this to fit with the toolbox, I'm going to have to lower that back edge there. And the only way I can lower that back edge is by massaging it. Funny thing is, it's absolutely miles away from where my rubbers are at the bottom there. It's just this tank is just terribly designed. So I'm gonna have to put some extra rubber buffers under there if I'm gonna have any chance of getting this thing stable. Now, another thing I've noticed is it's miles away from my filler cap as well. I actually think I have to do a little bit of a massage on the front edge of this as well. Right, that's my toolbox back in again. Time to see if I can get the tank in. I have my doubts. Even though I've massaged it. Know what I mean? F*** me. I'm getting to the stage. I should have given up ages ago. I'm telling you. Hey! Dude. Oh. Wow. Well, that was a ball's ache. Right. Let's see if I can price my rubbers in here. Yes, I can. Right, that's it. She's in. This was terrible, and this is definitely by no means going to be a permanent solution. The reason for that is, like, the problem is with these sort of tanks is that they're made for Series 2. No, I'm lying. They're made for Series 3 and GP. The loop at the back here is different on a Series 3, so you can have problems fitting them, but I have never had problems like this before. You might be able to see, unfortunately, the top edge here is actually in contact with the frame, so that's going to be Vibration City, which is a bit of a shitter, and I can actually fit my finger between the bottom buffer and the tank when it's sitting properly on this one, and there was no way. I mean, the only way that I can get it to fit there is if I take out the toolbox and slide it forward, and that would sort of defeat the object of me fitting the 3/4 size tank. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but what I wanted to show you was when I fit trunnions on all my tanks, even if I'm doing a restoration, I fit them at the back here because that enables easy access. On this particular scooter, so see, on this particular scooter, there's absolutely no room in there. Yeah, I mean, if you put the trunnions in the usual place, you're not going to get to them. You're never going to be able to tighten them. And after fitting a couple of these, I sort of move them to the back there, because then that gives you the option of changing out your tank without too much hassle. Although this is going to be hassle. One struggle I had was fitting the tank rubbers between the tank and the toolbox. I had to actually use a bit of a crowbar. That's why it's scuffed a buggery here. Use a crowbar so I could push the rubbers, prise them between the tank and the strap there. So that was a real pain in the bum. So I will be scouring the internet to see if I can find a similar tank that will fit in a Series 2, because this one certainly doesn't. And it's pretty unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. Manufacturing tolerances. The one that I've got in my Series 2 fits, I won't say it fit fine, but it definitely fits 100% better than this mofo. Right, if you enjoy this sort of stuff as much as I do, I did not enjoy it today, and there was a bit of swearing. I think I'm going to try and beep that out, but and my finger's absolutely killing me. Yeah, what a palaver. If you want to fit what's the moral of the story? If you want to fit a mid-range fuel tank in a Series 2, then make sure you fit it first to make sure that it fits before you paint it. I was about to give up on this, to tell you the truth, and that's not normally my game. But I got it in the end. But like I said, no permanent solution. And don't forget, do the old subscribe, give me a thumbs up, write a comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra. Messing around with these cameras, batteries going flat.
Markerte det med regn, alle sprang I lag og ville komme under tak. Ingen av oss merket at du hadde falt I frak, for valgte du å dra. Hvem I faen kunne se den komme? Da høsten tok over, sa vi hadde bra til oss som